that, these billion-dollar corporations have leveraged and are making hundreds and even billions of dollars on that business credit. And we have that blueprint and opportunity to do the exact same thing.
Let's go. We are back.
A whole TV show. Okay. Yeah, I love it.
Bro, I'll be sitting in the background, bobbing my head to
it. Yeah, I love it.
Appreciate it. Well, welcome everybody back to another episode of Entrepreneurship Exposed with your guy, Beez. Listen, this is where we are exposing everything, every play, although I don't like that word. Right. Every strategy, every sustainable strategy when it comes to entrepreneurship, with a twist of business acquisitions, because that's how we grow true wealth. That's how we get that path to $1 billion with a big old capital B. And today, since we're talking about big old capital B, today I got my guy, my boy, my colleague, my partner, my brother, Herman Dolce. He is the Haitians_CEO. He is the business credit master. So when we talking about capital B, we also got to talk about business credit. Herman,
I appreciate you, bro.
Brother, how you been, man?
Thank you for having me on the TV show, podcast, all the above, bro. The production is absolutely crazy, man. And I always like to say I'm humbled when people trust to put me on their platform, because I know you vet people before you put them out to your people. So I appreciate the collab. Thank you so much, bro.
For sure, my brother. For sure, man. It's a pleasure to have you on here, bro. It's a long time coming. Should have happened a long time ago, but everything in its own time.
In its own time. In its own time, bro.
For sure, man. Hey, so tell the people a little bit more about yourself, how you got to where you are right now, anything that you want them to know.
So to the people that are tuned in today or will be tuned in a little bit later, my name is Herman Dolce, CEO of Sloan Enterprises, also known as Haitian CEO. And my passion is business credit, business funding. My passion is financial literacy and giving this information, this abundance of information to anybody that's willing to listen. And if you execute, freedom is only moments away.
There we go, bro. Listen, what you do for people is amazing. It's so crucial. I remember when I started as a full-time investor, when I left corporate America, and I started in e-commerce.
Okay.
And I was doing private labeling, Amazon FBA.
Okay.
And I had a colleague, a friend who was going through it at the same time. And we were, at that time, we kind of keep secret the things that we're selling, because you don't want anybody else jumping in on your niche, right?
Right.
But he and I, we kind of shared what we were selling. And I noticed that, his price point was about the same as mine. And then when it was time to reorder inventory, I was focused on, okay, well, when I make these sales, I'll take that profit to order new inventory and then keep growing that way.
Right.
So I was reordering, let's say 10,000 units of a specific item. And he was reordering like 80,000. And I was like, yo, we got about the same amount of sales, the same price point per unit, even the same profit margin based on how much the units cost to make and everything and ship and everything.
Right.
How are you ordering so much more than me? He's like, oh, well, just get a good low interest business credit card. I was like, what? You say that like that's easy? At the time, I knew nothing about it. At the time, I was like, as another fellow Caribbean man, I'm sure you know that our background, our community, we're talking things like credit is bad.
Yeah, they're not with that, bro.
They're not with it. So at that moment, I realized that, hold up, there's something else going on out here that I'm not privy to, and I got to change my mindset on, because credit is not bad inherently. If you use it wrong, it can be.
Right.
But the most,
like
say it
any
again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But the most important thing that people don't realize is that the United States is not a country. The United States is a corporation.
It's a
and
business.
it says it in the laws.
Yeah.
So if the United States is a corporation, that means all the laws are written to benefit corporate entities.
Corporate entities. We
So
talking next level conversation. We going right to next level conversations already?
There we go, bro.
Okay.
We jump straight in. We jump straight
Okay.
in, man. Okay, before you get to the episode, I just wanted to take another moment to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting the channel. Entrepreneurship Exposed is starting to grow like crazy, and it's all thanks to you guys. Now, if you like the content, like the information that you're getting, like the guest speakers, like all of the strategies, then the way that you can support us is by subscribing to the channel below. Now, after you subscribe, you want to make sure that you also like every video. You comment on it if you can. And even more important is to click that notification bell. That notification bell will make sure that you get to see every single episode with all of this amazing information so that you can get started on your journey as an entrepreneur. All right, now back to the episode. Let's go. We jump straight in. We jump straight in, man, because that's what it really, that's the true foundation that people need to realize of why we focusing on business credit. Because the laws are meant for you to use these entities, these SPVs, special purpose vehicles, in order to grow not only your wealth, but the economy.
Right.
So because of that, business credit becomes crucial. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about it. Like, what is business credit, and what is it? Why is it so important for us?
So business credit is kind of like what the name says, right? It is credit in your business's name, not in your personal name, not attached to your social security number, but based on your EIN, your DUNS number, your business name, totally separating the two. And this lack of information has put us into debt, because once we learned about credit was, to buy stuff on Black Friday. Credit was, I don't have it now, so I could pay a little bit over time, and I pay a little bit of interest. But when I teach my clients and my mentees, I was like, did you know that business credit came before personal credit? Did you know that nations and corporations were built on the back of leveraging the credit of the business? And then banks got hit. They're like, hey, we can charge these people 20% for the same thing. Oh yeah, then it went crazy. But no, business credit came first, and it is used to make money, not to buy shit.
I like that. That's exactly the truth, bro. It is used to make money, not just to buy shit.
Yes, exactly. Because that's what we've been taught, just to buy trash with it, but not understanding that we can leverage it to make money. So there is good debt that these billion-dollar corporations have leveraged and are making hundreds and even billions of dollars on that business credit, and we have that blueprint and opportunity to do the exact same thing.
Yes, man, and that's the key. Just like my community caused it to be hidden from me, but that exposure that I had to that colleague opened my eyes, and then I was like, wait a minute, I need to know more. And then I went down the rabbit hole and started executing. So that's the same thing for everybody. If you didn't know about this, that's fine. It is what it is. But now you know. Now you got to execute on it. Yeah. Right? Because one of the major benefits of business credit, Herman, is that it doesn't report to your personal credit.
You can leverage it. You can max it out. So like a lot of our people, bro, like Black Friday is coming up, man. There's the iPads, the MacBooks, the new Apple Watch. They're about to put it on their $5,000 credit card. They're about to max out their credit card, and their credit takes a nasty hit come December, come January, right? And then they get hit to business credit in January, but it's too late because their credit is maxed out. But you can use that same, matter of fact, I'm not gonna even say that same 5, because on the business side, the lines of credit are much bigger. So you're gonna get a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 card, right? 0% interest. And then you use that money. If you want to buy the iPad, you want to buy the iPhone, knock yourself out, right? But at least now it's not on your personal side. It's on the business side. And because it's not reporting to your personal, you can continue to leverage up and up and up.
And the key thing that people need to understand too is that in your personal credit, if you have a credit card and you max it out, your credit usage percentage goes up. Now your credit score is going to go down. In business credit, you max out that card, they probably give you a higher limit.
Isn't that crazy? And here's what's crazy, guys. When you're maxing out your business side, right? When they see it's maxed out, and when they see you pay it down a little bit and then max it out again, pay it down, do you know what that looks like to the bank? that lets the bank know that business is good.
Mm.
That's what that lets them know. They're like, wait a minute, we gave this guy $20,000 credit card. He paid down $5,000 in 30 days, right? Maxed it out again, paid it down $7,000, maxed it out. When you're doing that back and forth, that looks sexy to the bank because that lets the bank know that business is good, cash flow is coming in, you're responsible with the debt. And then that $20,000 card, it doesn't turn into 25, 30. No, they raise it up to 50. They raise it up to 75. They raise up something crazy within 4 to 6 months of time. Just understanding that knowledge, and then now you have more capital to flip.
Whew. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is the key. And now you said something earlier, which is I want to dig in a little bit because when it comes to using credit, especially business credit, to work to run through your business, to grow your business, right?
Right.
You want to make sure that, or this is a question to you, right? I may know the answer already, but I'll still want you to do it.
Okay.
Should you pay off in your business credit? Should you pay it off like in full each month? Whereas we know that we recommend that on your personal credit. On your personal side.
So there's two thoughts to that, right? So if you have a charge card like that platinum card, you better pay it off every month, right?
No choice.
So I'll say this. So I'll give you an example. I have a $100,000 line of credit from a really good bank, right? And it's interest only, right? And that $100,000, when I max it out, it costs me about $800 a month. It's interest only. It's the sexiest thing in the world. I maxed out the $100,000 line of credit, and I bought 15% of a partner of mine's business. I bought 15% of it, right?
Oh, now you're talking real sexy.
Yeah, now I'm talking sexy. Yeah, I'm talking your talk, Beez. I'm actually talking your talk right now.
There we go. That's what I love.
I acquired just a little bit of his business, right? So that $800 that I'm paying, right? I'm getting about $20,000 to $25,000 a month, right? And it fluctuates because sometimes business goes up, sometimes business goes down, but that's about the 15% that I'm getting, right? So I'm getting $25,000 and it costing me $800. Now I can easily just pay off the line in chunks, but I'm not. That $25,000 is sitting in my checking account and I'm just paying that $800 off every single month, right? Because that capital is making me money, right? Exactly. Now, guess what happened 8 months later? 8 months later, the bank sees these deposits of $20,000 to $25,000 every single month. The bank sees me paying off $800 every single month. Guess what the bank turns that $100,000 into? $200,000.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So you can use the strategy if you can pay it off all at once, but why do you need to when the cash flow is coming in?
Exactly.
Right? Keep that cash to yourself. Let the tool do what the tool is doing.
There we go. And there goes the most important thing that I think people need to realize. Apple has $200 billion cash in the bank and still takes out loans and uses credit.
Takes out loans, bro.
Because they know the power of other people's money.
Other people's money, bro.
And that's how you grow wealth.
Get cheap money, leverage it, bro. If the billionaires, my brother always says this, if the billionaires are doing it, why can't you? That's literally what they're doing. Why am I reinventing the wheel?
Exactly.
They're literally doing it. I'm gonna copy and paste.
There we go. So let's dig into something else right now. Because what will it take for us to get the last part of your IG name changed? Not Haitian _CEO, but Haitian _investor.
Investor. Wow. I like it.
There we go. Let me explain why. Let me
talk to me.
The first thing that people ask me when they come into like my community and want to learn how to buy businesses, I say, okay, the first thing is you got to position yourself as an investor. How do you position yourself as an investor? Well, the first way that I do it is I just change the words on my social media to say investor. Instead of mentor or whatever else. The first thing it says is investor on IG, on LinkedIn, on everything else. So when people look at my profile, they're like, oh, an investor? What's this about? Right? So that's a first step. So Haitian_investor.
Investor. I love it. So the Haitian CEO is such part of the brand, but I wish I had looked 10 years in the future. And I like to answer. I still want to answer your question. So, you and I have been having private conversations offline about the next chapter and what I'm going to be doing in terms of the Haitian investor. Right? Your team is right on it. So my wonderful COO, she's stepping up to be the CEO come December 31st, because I need to step down, right? And I need to start investing more, right?
Sir.
Because a CEO is a job, right?
Yes,
so I got to
sir.
clock in. I'm in front of this computer, and I'm running it. And CEO to our people, it's sexy, right? Yeah, it's sexy to be CEO. But you know who's not a CEO anymore? Jeff Bezos.
There you go.
He's not CEO of Amazon anymore. He stepped down because there's other things. Bigger things. So if he's stepping down from $1 trillion company, right? That means on the other side of his time, there's clearly something else he's building. There's other things that he's investing in that's going to make trillions, that doesn't need his 9-to-5 time. So what it's going to take is going to take about 90 days from now. I'm stepping down. And now my time is going to be used more into investing, because the same time that I used to build Bella Sloan into the multi-million-dollar company that is, I'm going to be investing my time and capital into other opportunities, other businesses that'll 10x it. So just so that everybody understands this a little bit more, the same stroke of the pen that it takes for you to sign for a $10,000 credit card is the same stroke of a pen that it takes for you to sign a $30,000 business credit card. All right? It's the same stroke of the pen. If everything is structured correctly, the capital 10x's, right? So Jeff Bezos has figured out, all right, well, I can make, let's just say he was making $100 million a year running the company, right? He understands now that same 40 hours a week, or maybe even less time, he can build another $1 trillion company. He's trying to put some things on the moon, right? He's trying to put some things on Mars right now. He doesn't have time to figure out to make sure your shipping is working out. He got the business credit, he built it up, put the systems in place, he's out the way. Now
and not business credit, but
right. Corporate credit. Exactly. Now he's using corporate credit. So now he's investing his time into things that are 10 trillion, 100 trillion. He's investing seeds, right, in fruit he will never see. He's playing a different game now.
Oh, that's 100% the truth. Listen, everybody, the audience, what Herman just said is so accurate, you guys wouldn't believe. Most people see Amazon as this huge behemoth right now. But if you realize, I mean, in what, we're in 2022, 10 years ago, Amazon was considered a loss leader.
Loss leader, bro.
And most people don't realize that. They operated at a loss for years.
Bro, they were in debt.
They were in debt. People thought that it'll never really turn a true profit, blah, blah, blah. And every time, once they started making profits, significant profits, everybody was like, oh, wow, Jeff, y'all had a great quarter. What are you going to do now to beat it next quarter? And his answer was always, well, the things I'm doing now is going to show up 2 years from now, not next quarter. I've already put things in place 2 years ago that's going to affect the next quarter, right? So he is truly
now. Wow, the profits you're seeing now is from seeds I planted 2 years ago.
That's how we need to be thinking. We need to be, and because, so I take everything back to one of the foundational books for me, which was Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Rich Dad Poor Dad, we had the cash flow quadrant. Most people start as the E, they're employees, they're working for them, working in the business. Then they say, oh, I'm tired of this shit, I want to work for myself. Then they go down to S, self-employed. They still working in the business, they still trading time for money. It's not until you move to the B, CEO, where you start working on the business. You're owning the business, you have people in place, process systems, and you're working on the business. But the next step is to be I, investor. And that's where you're working above the business, not on it as a CEO, but above it. I'm not concerned with the widget or whatever. This is a cap for a camera that the company is producing. I'm concerned with the company as a whole, how to buy it and how to sell it. As the investor level. And then I hire CEOs in place in order to run and manage the company, COOs, CEOs, whatever other operators, right? So that's the key when it really comes to what do you want? You want to get your time back. You want to be able to grow true wealth because you can multiply it like what Bezos is doing, right? I happen to have multiple companies that I'm an owner of, not the owner of, but an owner of. You mentioned that you bought 15% of a friend's business. Right. Well, now you're an owner and you're following my model of 25% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape.
Oh, great. Exactly, bro. And to what I piggyback what I just said earlier, I forgot my train of thought. It'll come back to the stroke of the pen. The same stroke of the pen that it took me to buy 15% is the same stroke of the pen that it's going to take me to buy 100% of another company. Install a CEO and recycle and repeat.
Rinse and repeat, baby. I love it, man.
I can't wait.
So here's the thing now, and maybe it's time to pop. We're going to go through our pop segment because some of the things we're going to talk about are problems and some other stuff. Now I got this super jet flying above. I don't know if you can hear it, but we got to pop the business credit industry because we're talking about how spicy it is. We're talking about how great it is. We're talking about why you need to be in it, but there's always things that you need to know and be careful of and navigate around.
The good, bad, and ugly of everything. We can talk about how this is sexy, how it's wonderful, but there's different problems, opportunities, all that stuff. Absolutely, bro. I love to go into detail with it.
Let's do it. So let's start with the pros since we already been there. The pros of business credit. Sum it up to what you think is the most important pro that people need to know.
So we already talked about how it's not in your personal name, so that's great. It's in the business name. The other pro for me is that the capital you get in your business name is a significantly higher. I'll give an example. I have a Best Buy credit card, right? Visa logo, right? So I can use it anywhere. I'm on the personal side, it maxed out about $10,000. I have a Best Buy business credit card. It is $30,000. It is literally 3 times the amount, right? And they both know it's still both my card. Why? Because Best Buy understands there's only so many flat screens I can buy, so many iPads that I can buy on the personal side. They know that. But they know on the business side, right? I have employees, I have VAs, right? They all these iPads, they all these cell phones. They know I need more capital to run my business, so the limits are significantly higher on the business side. I have no business credit card that's under $20,000. None.
There you go.
They're all significantly that alone is one of the best reasons for you to position your business so that it can get as much capital as possible because the limits are significant. And if I'm starting at $20,000 to start, right? Imagine what it's going to turn into. I have VIPs days that I do in Philly. A guy came from Memphis, took him to a wonderful bank, Truist. His first business credit card was $20,000. He couldn't believe it, right? Because it's all new information to him. Success has receipts. I definitely posted it on my Instagram so you can see it. A $20,000 credit card, and that's just one bank. I took him to another bank, and they're capping out at $25,000. Now he's gonna go home and he's gonna run that over and over again, right? At the different banks because the limits are so much higher.
I love it, man. I love it. And you mentioned Truist. That's definitely one of my favorites too. That used to be BB&T and SunTrust or something like that. Yep. And then when they switch, man, their programs are awesome. You could, if I remember correctly, you can. Does it not do a hard pull?
So no, it does a hard pull. Here's the secret with Truist though. They pull from Equifax. The secret with Truist is that you go walk in there, bro, with more than one LLC, right? More than one business. And that same inquiry that they got, they're ready. They're like, hey, we already got anything. You need anything else? So I walked in there with Bella Sloan Enterprises, and I walked in there with Olivia Monroe Enterprises. Shout out to my daughters, right? I walked in there with 2 LLCs, right? They gave me a line of credit for both and 2 business credit cards for both businesses, 1 inquiry. I walked out of there with $100,000 in a day.
There you
go. My favorite line, bro, is I can fund you $100,000 faster than your employer can pay you $100,000 and faster than you can save $100,000.
Ooh, right? I love that.
I was there for 30 minutes, walked out with $100,000.
Team, make sure y'all capture that statement that Herman just said, because we got to put that in the description, right? He can fund you $100,000
faster than your employer can pay you $100,000, and faster than you can save $100,000.
Woo! There we go. Hey, the numbers don't lie, right?
The numbers don't lie.
So before we go on to opportunities, what would you say, whether it's truest or another, would be your favorite business credit program, whether it's a credit card, line of credit, whichever institution?
So my favorite program, I would like to say to people, is I'm gonna switch this up a little bit, is credit unions. Credit unions are my favorite program. Why? Because these credit unions give out a bigger bag than these regional and national banks. What do you mean by that, Herman? So we have a bank in Philly, right? I think it's called Citadel, right? There's a small bank in Philadelphia, credit union, right? Off the rip, bro, it's easy to get $20,000 to $25,000 with a strong credit profile, right?
Yep.
That same credit profile, I'm going to walk into a regional bank like Citizens, right? Because the Citizens is not everywhere, but it's in certain regions of the country. That same credit profile is going to get $15,000. I walk into Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, that same credit profile is going to get $10,000. For some reason or not, these credit unions are giving out a bigger bag. So I always tell my clients, start there first, because you'll get more capital that way first. Start with your credit unions, open up a business checking account, business saving account, form the relationship with them. You got a great or decent credit profile. They're going to start you off higher than you would if you went to these big name brands who are marketing crazy, but they're not going to give you the capital that you really need to get to start off that you need.
There we go. Y'all heard it here first. Super tips. Let's go. Okay, so now we got to get into the opportunities that are coming up in the industry, in this country, in the world. Why it's even more important to jump on business credit.
So I would say the biggest opportunity and shift that has been happening over the last year or two, not a lot of people are familiar with it, so I catch myself to have to really talk about it, is no personal guarantee business funding, right? These fintech banks are really popping up everywhere, right? So with these fintech banks, these banks are like, hey, all right, so Herman, he has a business, he's doing okay, he's making a couple of dollars, he's making $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month, he's doing okay, but his credit is trash. But clearly Herman knows how to make money. I know he doesn't have great credit, but you know what? Let us offer him some type of credit, because if we give him a little something, let's see what he can turn this $5,000 cash flow into. Right? So these fintech banks, what they do is they ask for your login to your business checking account, because they want to see the numbers. They like, let me see what you've done the last 90 days. Based on that, they're going to give you a business credit card, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and they don't care what your credit score is. If you have a pulse, your credit score is 500, but you're doing good business, they're going to give you some type of capital infusion. My favorite one is Divvy, Divvy. My second favorite is Capital on Tap. These are great banks. You guys can go to the link in my bio. I have the link for them, make it easier for you to go to the application. If you have, again, your business has to be no more than 3 months old. They like to see the last 3 months of your bank statements, and they'll give you funding based on that. So those are some great opportunities that are coming down the business credit pipe for people who just don't have the good credit yet, but are in business and are doing decently well.
Nice. We use that concept in business acquisitions through leverage buyouts, because if we're able to use a concept called DDP, deferred down payment, we could push back when we need to pay the seller the remaining amount. So if we take over the business on day one, on day two, you can literally go and get a revenue-based financing loan, because you got the bank statements to show what the business has already been doing, and you can get that loan without your credit, without your business credit, without your cash out your pocket, no PG, no nothing.
Exactly.
So definitely, I love it, man. I love it. Now, I will say I don't like Divvy though. And
why don't you like Divvy?
Only because of their terms. I think Torpego had a little bit better. Divvy, you got to pay back in 30 days, I think, where Torpego gave you the ability to leave a little bit on and pay longer and stuff.
Right.
Brex was okay with the platform, but
but Brex wants you to have a lot. Brex wants you to have like 100,000 in the bank account or something before
it's like sitting there type of thing. So, but there's tons of them. There's tons of them.
That meet different needs for different people. So definitely, you guys do your research on these fintech banks and see which one best fits your needs. But you have options.
you got tons of options for real. So now we gotta get into where I think we're gonna spend a little bit more time, because I'm gonna chime in on some of the problems when it comes to, well, you know what? It's not business credit alone. It's credit in general. Problems you got to be aware of. But you focus more on the business credit side of it, right? So what are the major problems in this?
So the major problem with this tool, bro, is people not understanding how to use the tool, right? So business credit, it sounds sexy. Like the guy yesterday, he got a business credit card, $20,000, 0% interest for 9 months, right? So $20,000, 0% interest, that'll cost you probably $200 a month, right? If you don't know how to make more than $200 a month, if I give you $20,000, stay at your job, right? That's number two, the issue with not being able to use that tool is that that 0% interest is going to run out. So a lot of people who I give $20,000 to 0% interest for 9 months, they don't know how to use that tool correctly before the 0% interest runs out. So that $200 is going to quickly turn into $1,000. 9 months will go like that, believe it or not. Listen, COVID was probably the worst time we ever had, right? But it came and it went. We're going into 2023. Remember, COVID was 2020, right? We moved on from it. So listen, time is going to move. Are you going to execute on the tool in a time efficient fashion? Do you have a team ready in place? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the blueprint in place that when we infuse 20, when we infuse 30 into your business, do you have the know-how to flip it in a decent amount of time to make sure it happens? So lack of knowledge on how to use the tool is, I think, the problem when it comes to business credit.
And you know, there we go back to, and I'm always going to talk about our background being Caribbean men. Good debt versus bad debt.
Bad debt, right?
We're just taught that debt is bad. But no, there's good debt and bad debt. And good debt, if you're taking on debt in order to acquire an asset that's going to be cash flowing and producing money for you in time for you to pay back that debt before you have to incur any interest on it. That's great debt.
Great, amazing debt. Yep.
For sure. So, but I'm going to say though, I'm going to add to the problems.
Okay, talk to me.
For a while, you know, I used to also teach how to build business credit. And we know the path of the net 30 accounts and all those stuff.
Tier 1, Tier 2, right.
Tier 1s, Tier 2s, all of that. But most of last year, I told people it's not as simple as they think anymore. There was a time where, you build those Tier 1s, Tier 2s, whatever, you'll get funding from almost all financial institutions. Now, most of the primary financial institutions are going to still require your PG, right? So there's only a few that's strictly on your DUNS number, your paydex score,
right?
And those tend to be more maybe like a Home Depot card, a Shell gas station card, which is cool if you got a construction business or a trucking company and need a fleet and gas.
That works for you.
But you're still gonna want those larger, lines of credit, larger credit cards from the other institutions, which are going to end up requiring a PG no matter what, right? So I tell people, yes, still build it, but just realize that building it by itself using those strategies is not enough nowadays for all of the institutions that you would be potentially looking at.
They got wiser. Yeah, they got wiser. The pool has shrunk, right? So I always tell my clients, build up your personal and build up the EIN. So build up your SSN, Social Security number, and build up your EIN simultaneously, right? Because your leveraging power is doubled, right? That's number one. Number two, I'm gonna keep using my guy from yesterday. He got the 20,000, right? He formed a relationship with Truist. Let's say, for instance, he starts flipping that money. He's making $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 every single month. In about a year or two, with the relationship that he has with the bank, with the revenue that he's making, he's going to be able, and if he's still building his business credit correctly, right? He's getting Tier 1, Tier 2, whatever. He set up all the business stuff. He's going to be able to go back to the bank. He's like, hey, here's the bank statements, right? Here's my years in business. It's time for the no PG, right? But that's because he was building both up simultaneously. So remember what we talked about a little bit earlier, guys. We have to look 5, 10, 15 years ahead of us. So Bella Sloan Enterprises, Olivia Monroe Enterprises definitely were personally guaranteed. The debt is not in my personal name. But when I hand over the company to my children, right, they're going to have no PG funding, right? They're going to have corporate credit cards, not business credit cards. They're going to have corporate lines of credit, not business lines of credit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, okay, now let's get into, because I got two major topics I want to follow up with that. One is going to be on the other issue being over leveraged in credit, right? The other topic after we get into that is going to be more on buying business credit and how we can do that. But let's start with the being over leveraged in credit. I believe that, for example, there was a lot of mentors and mentorship programs that focused on getting cars that you could go on Turo, for example, right? Now, that's cool. It's a great business model. It's awesome if you really want to get into it. You got to worry about the liability and such, but you also got to be careful how over leveraged you get on all of those cars, right? Because the market is not as predictable as you would think. And there's going to be plenty of times where, I remember the Urus was generating, 40K a month or so on a usual basis. And then during a slow season that hit for about 3 months, it was less than 15,000, closer to like 10,000. So that was a significant dip, right? So if you have tons of cars that you're leveraged, PG'd on, hopefully at least it's in business credit, so it's not affecting your personal credit on a regular basis. But now when you have to weather the storm, can you manage it through those tough times?
Can you manage it through those tough times? Yeah. So growing responsibly is very important, bro.
Yeah. And especially we're heading into, a deeper recession where they start pulling back credit.
Yeah.
Have you seen that happen at all, where some people lower your credit limit on your personal side?
Yeah, absolutely. They lower the credit on the personal side and the business side. So because I've been helping my clients get funded, I can look at a credit profile, bro, in advance and be like, okay, this guy's going to get 100,000. I know it. I'm going to go to these 3 banks and I know he's going to get 100. And then I'll start to see it before everyone else sees it. So before they start saying recession on TV, that same bank is now giving my next client 80,000 instead of 100. Or after that, like I remember during the recession, bro, during COVID, bro. Listen, I had somebody's 750 credit score. They're getting like a $5,000, $6,000 business credit card. I was like, I didn't even know y'all went that low, right? So they'll definitely pull back, or they'll raise the interest rates to ensure people, they'll make it more expensive to borrow the money. It's because they want you to be really responsible. Like, all right, if you're going to use this, it's going to cost you. So what you got coming in to make sure you're able to pay this off. So those two things definitely happen. That
is key there, man. For people to create wealth, get rid of, and I'm talking on the personal credit side, get rid of high interest credit card debt, right?
That don't bring you any money.
Exactly. You're just giving away money, and we're not using credit cards to just buy shit and just get into debt.
Right.
We're using it for our advantage. You have the cash already? Yeah. Instead of using your debit card, put it on your credit card and then pay it off. Right away. Now you get points. Now you get cash back, whatever it may be.
Right.
So yeah, getting over leveraged in credit on the personal or on the business side too. Yeah. People gotta be careful of for sure.
But very dangerous to do it on the personal side, because those credit cards are, bro, 13 to 22% that you're giving away every single month. I rather have 13 to 22% on the business side because it's not showing up on my personal. But if I'm using the business credit card, it's probably making me money. So whether it's a $40,000 a month or a $10,000 a month, at least I'm able to pay the debt off. Right?
There you go.
Or service the debt. I probably won't make any money this month, but at least I'm able to pay off the credit card, pay the minimum payment. I'd rather be in that position than, bought a Louis bag and a flat screen TV for Christmas, and I have no way to service the debt during a recession. I lost my job. They cut back their hours.
Definitely, bro. So now we got to go into buying business credit. Right. I had somebody once when I was explaining about business acquisitions, And this person was like, oh, I've bought businesses. And then I was like, oh, cool. That's good. One of the things I love is when you're able to assume the business credit. And they were like, oh, that's not true. You can't get the business credit. And I was like, no, if you do it the right way, you can. And they were like, I've been buying tons of businesses and I never get the business credit because you did not do what is called a stock purchase. You did an asset purchase, most likely. There's other reasons why you probably did not get it right. But if you know how to do it, then you will get the business.
Yeah, it can be done.
Exactly. Because this is what the wealthy have been doing for the longest. And these are the things that we got to find out that information so that we then execute on and change our lives.
100%.
So now the greatest wealth transfer in history is underway.
Right in front of our eyes right now.
Yeah, in front of our eyes. And the tsunami is starting. And I'm only talking about one portion of this wealth transfer because real estate's going to be adding to that wealth transfer. Mm-hmm. But baby boomers.
Right.
There's 12.5 million baby boomers that have businesses, and all baby boomers are retiring this decade. And most people don't know what to do with their business.
Ooh, it sounds like opportunity. That's what it sounds like.
You remember when you said a little while ago that you're going to give those 2 companies to your kids?
Yes, right. Mm-hmm.
They may not want it, bro. And if they don't want it,
break my heart. Break my heart. What do you mean you don't want it?
That's what you know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah.
That's what so many people are facing. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to the kids, and then the kids are like, nah, I'm not interested. And now it's like, well, damn, what am I gonna do? Just shut down? Nope. Beez will buy it.
Beez will buy it. Somebody will buy it. Yeah, somebody will buy that cash flow.
Exactly. So explain to people what you think, how you see that power of, okay, now I bought a business that's already X amount of years old, already over 2 million in revenue. What kind of power does that mean now in terms of the business credit that I'm acquiring from them too?
Oh man, so bro, so you're talking to somebody who knows just a little bit of something. So here's the high level math to anybody that's listening. If someone is selling their 20-year-old business, 10-year-old business, right? It's making $3 million a year, right? It's making $3 million, so that's coming in and out. So the bank is going to look at that top line revenue. They're going to look at the $3 million even before they look at the net. So let's say, for instance, the net is $1 million. It's making $1 million, right? I know that all I need to do is put a little something down on it, right? So just like if you're going to buy a car, if you're going to buy a house, and if you're going to buy a business, you're going to put something down on it. That down payment, guess where that's coming from? Sometimes it's going to come from business credit that I already got available, or whatever cash you got available. I'm going to put something down, and the revenue of the business, the cash flow of the business is going to help fund the purchase of the rest of the business. Now, I put down, let's say if it's a $3 million business, bro. Let's just say, for instance, me and a couple investors came together, we put $300,000 down. Now, I've purchased $3 million in revenue, right? For only $300,000. And guess what? I have $1 million coming in every single month to pay off the debt. Every single year to pay off the debt. I keep the rest, right?
There you go.
And look, the CEO's already in place, the manager's already in place. I just make sure everything good, everything look good, great. Cash flow keep coming in. And guess what? I can repeat that over and over and over again. How do I repeat it over again? Because I just bought a $3 million business and I got this new revenue that I just bought. Right?
Exactly.
I got 750 coming in a year, right? Net. So I'm gonna go do it again.
You're buying cash flow, bro. You get to look at these numbers beforehand, reduce your risk as much as possible because you know what you're getting yourself into, and then you know exactly how much you could pay yourself, plus put back into the business in order for it to continue to grow.
Correct.
So I love it, man. And now here's the thing. I've come across some businesses that I did not like the profit margin. Maybe I like the profit. Let's say they were profiting, their EBITDA was $600,000. That's cool. A business that's running and, I got it kind of turnkey and I'm earning profit of $600,000 a year from it.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
I like that.
But imagine if that $600,000 profit was off of $9 million in top line revenue. Most people will look at that and like, oh damn, they got a terrible profit margin. They bringing in $9 million but only keeping $600,000. I may not shy away from that business. Why? Because now, what did you just say that the banks are looking at? They're more so looking at that top line revenue.
They're looking at
so
the 9
they're gonna give me more money because I'm running 9 million through the business regularly every year.
Through the business every year. They like to see that. Because remember, guys, you know how fractional lending works. 9 million coming in means these banks could lend out, 90 million, 900 million, whatever the math is, right? So they like to see that coming in. So I'm valuable to them. As long as the debt is being serviced, it gets kind of goofy.
There we go, bro. So listen, I got this challenge going on, and I want to know if you're going to be part of this challenge.
Talk to me about the challenge, bro.
So there's 3 major ways of creating wealth: real estate, the financial markets, that's your stocks, your options, your forex, your crypto, and then owning a business, whether you build it or buy it. Right. Obviously, buying it gives you a head start, right?
Yeah,
and it makes it easy. Now, and these 3 ways are ways to create true wealth, like $1 billion, net worth, that type of thing, right?
Right.
So my challenge is called the $1 Trillion Table Challenge. The $1 Trillion Table Challenge, by the end of this decade, I want to sit in a room at a table with other people that look like us, and we have $1 trillion AUM. Assets under management.
Ooh.
Right? Again, we changing our mindset, because that doesn't mean $1 trillion cash in our pocket. It means we have a portfolio of businesses, real estate, investment in the stock, whatever, and those total to $1 trillion assets.
Bro,
under management.
I want to sit at a table where it's $1 trillion at the table. I want to sit at that table. Can I be invited?
That was gonna be my question to you. Are you gonna be at that table? Are you gonna be at that table?
100%, bro. 100%. What I gotta do? Where do I sign? Because
there we go.
to do this, the same pen that's gonna sign to do that.
Well, I'm already helping you on the business side, acquisition side. I know you're already in the real estate side, and I think you're also in the financial market side too.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so all 3 of those, bro, you can't go wrong, man. Especially, and as much as I talk about business acquisitions, and it's the best return that you could get out of all of those 3. However, right now is also a great time for the stock market, because everything is on sale. It's at a discount.
Everything's on sale.
We going through recessionary times. Most people is like, oh, pull your money out. No, dollar cost average into the stock market. I'm picking up more Google, more Tesla, more Amazon, more Apple, because I'm getting it at a lower price. And guess what? It's gonna go back up like it always does. If you look in the 100-year history of the stock market in the U.S.
Go back up. Listen, bro, a really wealthy, not rich, a really wealthy mentor of mine told me back in 2020, right? I sat down with him, sitting him at Lauryn Hill's house. And I was like, yeah, man, this recession looked like it's going to get crazy. This COVID thing seems serious. And he was like, not really. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, recessions are the Black Friday for the rich. Everything is on sale. And I was like, and put me in the nose. He's like, we're not worried about that. He's like, while everyone has been leveraging their credit to not make money, we have been getting cash, we have been getting business credit, and we've been sitting and waiting, because it's cyclical. It goes up. What goes up must come down. And when it comes down, they buy everything in sight, because it's going to go back up.
This is the time, man. This is the time to create some true wealth.
Can I give another good example of that, just for myself? For example, so, when we was all on timeout, right? Disney stock was down. Facebook, Disney was down. Why? Because all the parks were closed. AMC stock was down because nobody was going to the movies, right? Airline stock was down because nobody was flying. I can't tell you how much money I dumped into all those stocks, because I was like, what, we're going to be on timeout forever? No, the airlines are going to open. Disney's going to open again. Are you kidding me? When it came up, I came up.
There you go, bro. That's the key, man. That's been the overall play. I don't listen. You'll see me. You'll never see me in Versace or what. I don't even know what the designer things are.
Black t-shirt me to death. All right. You know what I'm saying? Wear my brand.
Wear our brands, and we just keep rocking because we're focused on more important things. That money ain't going to some designer brand. That money is going into things that are going to produce revenue for us in the long term. Absolutely. Stop thinking about the quick win, quick way of making money. You can make this amount of money this month. Nah, I'm looking at how much am I going to make over the next year, over the next 5 years. That's what we got to focus on.
That's what we got to focus on, 100%, bro.
Damn, bro. Listen, Herman, I want to keep going, man, but I just realized we already hit like 50 minutes, and there's so much more we could talk about.
That's how good conversations go, bro. That's how good conversations go, man. Again, I truly appreciate you bringing me onto the platform and speaking to your people, man. And I'm going to see you at that $1 trillion table, bro. I don't know how big it's going to be. I don't know who wants to come, but listen, if you don't get to the $1 trillion table, right, at least be in the $1 trillion room.
There you go.
Where the table is, all right? So
there you go.
I'm accepting the challenge either way. I'm coming.
I love it, my brother. Hey, man, I know you're going to be there already, and I love what you're doing for our culture, for our people, man, representing Caribbean, man, too. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Big up yourself, yo. Keep doing amazing things. Thank you so much for coming on here, bro. Tell the people where they can find you. Where's the best way to find you?
So the best way to find me, you see it on the screen right now, Haitian_CEO, HAITIAN_CEO. I got a lot of spam pages on Instagram, so please be careful. But yeah, tap in. I post educational free videos every single day because I want you guys to get some free information so you can make some moves. Use that free information, right? I'm going to give you the information. The hustle so separately. Hustle that information. Execute on that information. When you come and pay a little bag, we'll see you at the $1 trillion table because you have a little money to invest now.
That's right. And by that time, it won't be Haitian_CEO. It'll be Haitian_investor.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, my brother. Thank you again for coming on here, man. It's a pleasure. Stay tuned. We're going to talk in the backstage a little bit, too. Everybody, another great episode of Entrepreneurship Exposed, where today we expose business, credit, and the way that you could create wealth. Make sure you're subscribed to Entrepreneurship Exposed. Make sure you are coming onto the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed on all the podcast streaming platforms. And make sure you don't miss another episode where we expose everything of entrepreneurship with a twist of business acquisitions. Let's go.